Hi, beautiful souls, welcome back. My name is Sadhana. For those of you that are just popping in, wondering where you have landed, I am an intuitive reader and I am doing follow-up readings for your tarot card of the year for 2023. And the cards that you see on the table were drawn in December or early beginning of January. And what I'm doing here at this point is going back and reflecting on these cards so that you can see this energy through another lens and begin to understand the importance of this process of reflection. It's all very well and good. I'm missing one of your cards. I'm just looking for it. All very well and good to do a reading at the beginning of the year. But then if we never go back and reflect on it, I'm wondering if we are continuing to do the work. And so this is why I'm doing this. And this is a big commitment for me. I am reviewing each of the readings and listening to myself, listening to my process as a reader. And this has also been really good for me in reflecting on this particular spread and the potency of this spread and the way that I was unfolding these readings. Now, this reading is for the Tower card. And the Tower is connected to Mars. It's a very strong energy. It is a year where, and it's funny, I was about to say action is required, but you know, sometimes the best action is inaction. And having the strength to not participate or to not join. And I don't know why I feel compelled to say this. One of the guidebooks I will be looking at is the Colette Baron Reed deck, because there was something about this card that I found very off-putting when I was looking at the reading. It was just so cutesy compared to all of these other cards. Something that just came to me as I was setting up the cards this morning was that in the previous reading, we had the Mother of Feathers. So in the Devil, there was the Mother of Feathers, and then in the Tower, the Father of Feathers. It's almost like this building energy of clarity of mind, focus, discipline, really honing in this intelligence, wisdom thing is here, very loud and strong. And also, again, supported by the energy of Durga. Really strong masculine energy here. So we have two fathers here. So there's this would support the martial energy of the Tower card and the Shaman of Courage. So Shaman of Courage would speak to solar plexus chakra. So there's a lot of fiery energy here. Now, Durga is a feminine energy, but yet she's very fiery and very strong. So on the right side of the reading, lots of powerful cards. Five of Cups. So Five of Cups also came up in the Death card reading. And then above the Five of Cups is the Nine of Flames. And as I was gazing at this card yesterday, I was seeing some new things. So I will also be reading from here. And if you watched the last year's reading, then the reading earlier this year, this whale spout really spoke to me as well too. So the way that the whale has the natural ability to let go when the pressure reaches a certain level. And I actually metabolically don't know why whales do that, but it seems like a release of tension, a release of pressure. It may be a natural part of the way they breathe, but it's with some force. And I thought that was really interesting how that card showed up with the volcano, with the Tower, right? So there's this release of pressure that is absolutely required here. All right, now I want to go to this very out of place cutesy card. the I'm not even sure why I chose this deck to be a part of these readings when all of the other decks are so... I mean, this deck does have a lot of powerful cards. And perhaps it has to do with the intention of the deck. This is the Enchanted Map Oracle. And I think it is, it's a great oracle. It's just that a few of the cards they don't sit great with me. So this card says, this is a time for great soothing of the heart, body, soul, and mind, as this card indicates that healing will be prevalent in your life now. Okay, so that fits. If you feel drawn to study the healing arts, you'll be successful in developing your natural capacity to restore others to wellness. However, the message may be that you are being called to change your behaviors in order to heal the earth. Perhaps you'll switch to a cruelty-free diet, eating less meat, or perhaps you'll pay more attention to how much water or electricity you use. You're asked to be conscious of your footprint and the sacred earth and all of life, and to commit to the healing path. Heal the Ouch card may also be an indicator of old wounds and broken bonds being mended. Again, this aligns very much with the Tower. Reconciliations are possible now that bygones speak up bygones. I think that one line is the one that really fits here, and that has to do with old wounds and broken bonds. The Tower is never a surprise. The Tower shows up. There's we feel it in our bones. We feel it in our bones. We feel it in our nervous system. Something is and has been ready to shift for a long time. And the drive to change this, I feel, is almost at a dangerous level. Now, this would have been back at the end of the year. So I hope by this point, you have made some decisions and decided where you are, or what your options are, at least for how life is changing for you, because this is just too many powerful cards to have not done something already this year. Not holding on to the loss that was experienced will be a part of this as well too. And can we turn to the Nine of Flames? I want to read Margaret's words. Sometimes she can really deepen our experience here. Now, in the deep dive that I did with the Margaret Peterson Tarot, this was a really, this was such a beautiful exchange of thoughts. And if these cards are resonating with you, I would encourage you to go to my channel and go through the deep dive with the Margaret Peterson step by step, because it has a way of opening something in you, and the art is just so very, very evocative. I wrote in my notes for this card, understanding the Trimurti. And that has to do with well, right now I'll just speak about Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the sustainer, and Shiva, the destroyer. Understanding that life changes, that we are always in a cycle of evolution. And this is very much a Shiva card. This is where things are changing, life is turning. And not so oddly, this is also a Sagittarius card, right? Which is a mutable fire card. So again, more fire on the left side. So the drive here to move forward is, I'm sure, may even disrupted your digestion in incredible ways. It's a lot of fire, and I laugh, but the connection between digestion and out of whack solar plexus chakra is very real. If we are in a process of finding out who we are and redefining our self, our authenticity, our path, it can be very hard on our physical health. Very hard. And so your food choices, your commitment to a healthy eating and focusing on the healthy digestion is probably one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself this year in the restoration that is required here. Right? So the space that is created in the star card, which comes after this, requires quite a bit of commitment and work on your part. Tremendous courage is required, without a doubt. And a commitment to yourself and your healing is really important. 9 of Flames, the fire of healing and maturing. 9 of Flames will teach you about all aspects of fire. The fire of growing, of destroying, of anger, of passion, of desire, of warmth, of intimacy, of lust, of touch, and of inspiration. The fire of the body and the fire of the mind. And through experience, you have learned how to handle these forces. You are the one to ignite this fire and redirect it. The process of a dramatic shift like this not only requires commitment to your self-care physically, but I would say that if you don't have support for your emotional and mental health, that spiritual support or a confidant or some sort of a counselor is also going to help you through this period. You are almighty. You are really, really powerful, but you will burn out. You will burn out. And this amount of fire can overtake your adrenal system. So your hydration is really important. Your nourishment of your low back, your protection of your low back, and adequate rest, adequate sleep, not taking on ridiculous challenges like climbing a mountain you're not fit enough to hike, things like that. Like this is, I would say there's certain things you will need to say no to because it's not going to support your healing through this experience and through this journey. Durga, underlying all of this, will make you strong. The clarity of mind that I see in the Father of Feathers will help you to make good decisions. But there is this drive. There is this drive, and it is imbalanced. So you want to be bringing in lunar practices and more meditative type activities into your schedule. Okay. All right, I'm just going to refer to my notes and then I'll carry on here. The last thing I wrote down last night was courage is standing in your own power. Being brave enough to perhaps say who you are. Father of Wands knows and says who he is. Durga will support your deconstruction. You may feel this sense of deconstruction. Life is falling apart. I am falling apart. And that's why these messages of health and wellness are so very important here. In the summer season, be mindful of overheating as well too, okay? The whale has a natural vent. Do you? And does your vent feel like, for me right now, when I see this, I think, okay, a good vent might be swimming, because that brings in the element of water and it's a relatively calming exercise. It could also simply be just floating in the ocean, something to help you let go. In order to not be destroyed by the tower, by this experience, one must build resilience. Okay, so this resilience comes through, it's not just the frame of mind. In order to rebuild the tower, to rebuild the temple, to rebuild your body, to rebuild your relationship, to rebuild your sense of self. The body, I mentioned, right? So the physical well-being is really important. I would say learning how to breathe could be one of the greatest gifts you give to yourself. And somebody asked me last week, I think, Friday, if I would do a really simple workshop on how to breathe. And so that's something you might want to look out for on my channel, because learning how to breathe will help to build and strengthen your resolve and strengthen your temple. Okay, having adequate resources around at all times is really important. Inner resources, mental resources, all of these. Okay, so the Shaman of Courage, I'm just going to read his message because it's not in my brain, but you know where the Shaman of Courage is going. And I'll talk a little bit more about Manipura chakra in a second. I am the Shaman of Courage, and whenever you need me, I will be there to discover the resources that lie within you. Resources you may not know you possess. I am there to support you in times of need, when challenge becomes overwhelming, when strength is required to make even an inch of progress along the way. I journey into fear and at its heart find courage to overwhelm it. This courage I impart to you, and I will guide and protect you if ever you are in danger. Okay. Inner resource that might make you think about a strength card. This is very significant here. When I reflect on the word inner resource, I always go to my yoga nidra practice. Any sort of pre-meditation, guided meditation sort of practice that gets you to focus, to turn your vision inward. There's something going on here with all of these fiery cards that tend to have an external focus. The answer lies to balance here by turning inward. Like this lunar energy wants us to learn to look within and to trust looking within. That's very important to you. I talked a little bit about the Father of Coins in another reading, and there were some really interesting things that Margaret said in the guidebook about this card. And it really touched my heart in a way. So the Father of Coins becomes well in partnership, learns a lot from their partner. But the ability of the Father of Coins to build great structures or great enterprises or manifest great things in this world, she says, is a result of his sadness and separation from mother. There's this line where I really feel like the Father of Coins is a little kid that would have been better off staying with his mama and loves his mother so dearly. And I've never looked at the Father of Coins in that in that way. The Father of Coins is the 78th arcanum, right? It's a last card in the tarot. It's a very integrated, very strong and solid card, fully embodied, very, very rich. And yet she brings in this connection about separation and mother. And this is for you in this 7-year, 7 being connected to Chariot and Cancer themes and so forth. Maybe this does have to do with your connection to a feminine relationship, mother wound. It's possible, and that can be a theme for everyone this year, being a Chariot year. Skewing masculine, choosing a profession, taking on if you're identify as female and taking on a more masculine name, living in your testosterone as a response to your indignation with the feminine. Was your mother weak? Do you see feminine as weak? So you skew masculine. So this is something else that's coming to mind here. It's exhausting. It's exhausting trying so hard. All right. Continue to build your softer side. Loosening your edges, softening your edges. Lead with your left foot. Learn to breathe. Bring loving tenderness into your cooking, and no more takeout. No more takeout. Take time to think about what you are preparing, and preparing it with love. Nourish your soul. Take good care of yourself. All of this feels really important. Okay, I'm going to draw a card from the deck that I've been using for the extra cards, which is Le Tarot au Amour étrange, Tarot of the Strange Antlers, or Tarot of the Strange Branches, which is I think fits really, really well in with the Cancer year. Emotional themes. May this card support you through the next months, and bring deeper understanding to your reading. So I do have a jumper card, which is a repeater card, 9 of Wands. And when I see that card jumping out again, and I'm thinking of what I was saying about the Trimurti, Shiva, the destroyer, the tower, the destroyer, this makes way for the new. It's just part of the process. The release. If you are still resisting this, perhaps reach out, find some support here. Okay, so we have the Goddess of Fire. And in this deck, it would equate with the King of Fire. It's the Goddess of Fire. So we have Queen of Fire and then Goddess of Fire in this deck. She is, when I look at her, completely surrendering to the transformation. And when I think of self-immolation, you would think that is a negative thing. But if you think about the phoenix and the journey of the phoenix and the complete transformation that is possible here. This is an important death for you. This might even involve a new look. A new look. Coming out the other side. Looking more youthful as well too. For some reason I see that. Okay, I want to draw one more card for you. The next step. And I would say this is simply about surrender, surrender, surrender. Take good care of yourself and allow and trust in the process. I said I was going to talk about solar plexus chakra. So solar plexus, might not need another card. Solar plexus chakra, in its highest frequency, moves into trust and relinquishes control. Understanding that we don't need to know everything and we don't need to plan everything. And sometimes the greatest gift we can give ourselves is just letting go, learning to trust, learning to be guided. And so this is a practice. This is a practice of learning to be guided. I will draw you one more card because I know you want one. This is a very fiery reading. Okay, it's the Hermit. It's the Hermit. So I would say this journey into self, learning to find a new way. It's okay to be on your own, and I would suggest creating enough space for yourself so you can be on your own. Choosing independence for some time while you move through this. Yes, you will need support from time to time, but it's important that not necessarily every day, but many times during the week, you create time just for you and your healing journey. Okay? You've got this. You really do. You've got this. It's just a matter of committing to you and remembering that you are the most important person in your life. Okay. So please reach out if I can be of further assistance. Namaste.